Hi guys, welcome to this session on Microsoft Project. In this module I want to show you how you can get going with Project. I'm going to create a simple task list, link the tasks together and add some resources. Very basic but a good starting point for Microsoft Project. So first of all, I've opened Project and I've got a blank screen. Now this task mode area, I have set my task mode. If I go to the File tab and down into Options and Schedule, I've set all new tasks to auto schedule. That saves quite a bit of time, and I'll show you the difference between that and manual, which is the other one in there, when we get going. So I always recommend that people set that to auto scheduled. Just click OK for that, and then I'm just going to go with title. So this is going to be software implementation. That's the title, and then I'm going to have a few steps. Now because I set that to the automatic scheduling, I automatically get this information populated and a small bar on the Gantt chart area. Down the bottom there it says new tasks are auto scheduled. Now if I set that to manual, just to show you what happens if it's manual, and then just pull that down and then just type test, for example, when you just have it on manual you don't get any of this information in, you have to put that in yourself. So if that's how you want to do it, that's great, but I'll just put that back to the way I had it. Now when you first open Project, you come to this view. This is what's called a view. It's called a Gantt chart view. This is actually the Gantt chart, and this is a table part of that Gantt chart. Now in terms of tables, you have many tables that are available in Microsoft Project, and you can create your own table there. And if I just quickly show you the table area, so I've gone to the View tab, and then you've got the tables here. You can see the ones that I've created, and this is the one we're in at the moment. That is the default table, basically called entry because that's where you are entering data. You've got costs and all these other ones, and then you can do more tables, and that's for another time. But let's just get some tasks on this screen. So software implementation. So install software room 1. Press and enter. You see the information comes in, and we'll change that. Test software room 1 and train on room 1, and then room 1 complete. That's all we're going to do for this basic one. Now you can see that the start and finish and things like that are a bit wrapped. I've just widened this column so they're no longer wrapped. Now I want to do install software room 2, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy these four, copy, Control C, and then just paste them underneath and just edit them slightly. Obviously this now needs to be room 2. Now this bar at the top, which is similar to the formula bar in Excel, is not on by oh, there's a typo. I'll just see, this is what happens if you try and double click on something like you can in Excel. So that needs to be activated at the top, and then you can do a little tick, and then I need to fix that one because that needs to say room 1, and then that's room 2 complete, and then the whole project's complete. Now what you put in your task list is totally up to you, but you've got to be bearing in mind that you will have to edit it, or somebody's going to have to edit the tasks. So writing a big massive list here sometimes is counterproductive, and people then don't do it properly. So what I want to do now is I want to indent all of these tasks under this title. So I'm just going to highlight all of these tasks, go back to the task tab and select indent, this one. Now as soon as I do that, this top one goes bold and it picks up the duration. At the moment the duration is just 1 day because everything is going on at the same time, but if I just type 1 in there, it does default to day. You shouldn't really leave the question marks on there. Then this planning wizard comes up when you type the same figure over and over again. You can get it to stop coming up, but I recommend you leave that on. It's a good little tip. It's basically saying you could have pulled that down. I know that, like you can in Excel. So it's like this little black cross that you can get on the corner if you can find it there. and you can just pull it down. But this one is going to be a 0. It's a milestone, and that's the symbol you get for a milestone. So this is 1 day, 1 day. The planning wizard is going to come up now. 1 day. Pressing escape to get rid of that. 0, 0. Now you can see all the tasks are sitting there on the date. Now this is a Saturday that I'm doing this on, so these have gone on to, these have stayed on the beginning of Saturday. These have all gone on to Monday because Saturday is obviously not a working day. Now what I need to do is change the start of this project so it's not a Saturday and it starts on Monday the 8th. So to do that you need to go to the project area, and you could have done this first off, to be honest, and selected a start date. So I'll select the 8th as a start date. You've got the option in here to say whether this is going to be scheduled from a start date or a finish date. The only difference is this becomes active or not, whichever one you pick. So that's all I want to show you in this little box for now. There are other things in there that are quite useful to know about, but that's for a different session. Click OK to that. And now everything sits neat. Now I want to link these together. To link them together, we need to go back onto the task tab. We need to use this little tool, or we can type them. So if I highlight everything just to show you, click that link, that chain link, you get them all linked together, following on one after the other. But I don't want it to be a follow-on coming like that. That's like a critical path, so they would all go red if I set that to critical. So if I go onto the view tab, not view tab, format tab, and critical tasks, they all go red. Now let's get rid of all them because I don't want that. They all stay red because they're all going on at the same time, but let's do it manually. So I'm going to type in there 2, test follows install, 3, train follows test, and 4. 2, 3, 4, like a little set of steps. They've gone red. These are still blue because these basically can happen anytime between this period, so they're not critical. Now, same with this one. I'm going to miss this one out and just do the same sort of step there. So test is following that, so it's 6, 7, 8. So I've got myself 2 sets of steps. Now the project complete is going to be following 5 and 9. So for that I need to put 5, 9, like so. Now this one, install software room 2, I'm going to change the type. These so far, when I've typed this, are just doing follow-ons. When this task finishes, that one follows on. But there are 4 types of predecessor links I can do. So this one is going to be a start to start. I want this task, install software room 2, to start or be dictated by the start of this task. So this task will start when this one starts. To tell the computer that, you need to put 2 SS in there, and I'll show you where I got the SS from in a second. You can see the arrow coming out of task 2 pushing into task 6. And if I move task 2 forward, everything gets pushed forward in this group, and these are just follow-ons anyhow. So this is pushing all of this. I'll just do undo to come back. Now why did I type 2SS? If I go double click into install software room 2, go onto the predecessors tab, you can see the full name of it there, and there's a link to the other type. So this is the default one, finish to start. Then you've got the one I've just done there. You've got finish to finish and start to finish. So I'm just going to concentrate on these 2 for today. Start to start, click OK. So now I'm happy with the links. I want some information on this Gantt chart, so if I double click in the white area, I get this box coming up, because in this box I can obviously see all the colours of all the bars that appear on here, different things, but I can also change the text that's displayed on here. So if I go to text, and on the right, if I type the letter N, it comes up with name, and if I click OK to that, it should put the names on. Now the reason it hasn't done that straight away is because I've got critical tasks ticked. Take that off and then do it on there. Go back in and do it again. It's got resource names. If I put name, OK, it puts the name on. Now if I go back in and show you that again, if I wanted the names to be on when the critical tasks is there, I would have to make sure I select on the critical task bar, which I haven't done. So if I cancel that and put that tick back on, critical tasks, and then that should appear in this list there, and then the name is there. So just be careful you don't get caught out. So these are all different sort of bars that you can do it on. So I've just made sure I've selected that one, and I've got name on both now, so it doesn't matter. I didn't change the milestone one, I just did it for the actual basic task, so that's okay, I like that. Now to allocate resources, I need to go onto the resource sheet down here and type in my resources. So I'll go for Bob, Anne, Bill and Ben, just because that's the easiest to type. I'll go paper, Microsoft Office, computers and hotel, just because so I can show you the different ones. Now paper is not a work resource because there's three types there. Look, work, material and cost. This is going to be material, and so is Microsoft Office, and so is computers. And it's telling me again that I could have pulled that down. That's going to be a cost resource. Now for material you can put a label on there, so I'll go pack. This is what's going to appear on the Gantt chart. MSO for Microsoft Office and PCs for computers. For people you can give them, so I could have put the full name there, but just for this example I'm just going to keep it simple. But you could put in there trainer, so he's in the trainer group. Let's say all three of them are trainers, and then Ben can be the manager. 100% of time available that they're on the project. Now they pay £10 an hour because we don't like giving people loads of money, and £15 an hour overtime. Highlight those two, they're all on that. And let's say the Ben, the manager, can be on £20 an hour and 25 for overtime. So paper, let's say paper per use, if I put it in there, is £1 per pack. Microsoft Office, every time you use it, it's going to cost you 100 quid. So every time you allocate it to a task, it's costing 100 quid. Computers, let's say you've got some agreement that you can get one computer or 10 computers. It doesn't matter how many you have, it's just a fixed cost of £200 there. So every time you allocate a computer or 10 computers, it's going to cost you £200. Now the cost resource, you don't get the option to put a price in here, it just stays as 0, and then you allocate the cost when you are adding this to your tasks. So if I go back to the Gantt chart over here and click on the task that you want to assign, and then go to the resources tab, and you get your assign resources from here. There's other ways of doing this, but I like to do it from here. If I assign Anne to this task and Ben to this task, and then 2 computers, so that I need to put that to 2, still stays at 200 because it's a fixed cost. Paper, assign, so there's 2 of them. Let's say they use a pack of paper each, so 2 per hour. So what I need to not do it there, just over type the wrong place, just type that back in. So I need to get into here and go 2/ per hour. That's gone up to 16 because there's 8 hours and there's 2 of them, 16. And then Microsoft Office, I need 2 of them. Assign 2 licenses, so that should go up because it's £100 per use. Now I'll just close this for a minute because all that stuff that I've just done there is in this column as well. Now if I change the table view to have a look at the impact of that cost table, you can see that what that's cost me. If I go back onto the resources and put this resource box, you can also see it in there, but it summarizes it here because it was indented. Now if I change the table back to entry, so it's up to you whether you do this in the entry table or the cost table, whatever, it's whatever you want to look at, but let's just do one more and then you get the idea. So let's say bill. Now I'm fixing that typo there, bill, and let's have a quick look at the resource sheet. So it fixed it there. So if you delete something in this box, it affects this box or this column, so be careful. So if I go on test software room 2 and let's say Ben's going to do that, assign Ben, he's the manager and he wants one computer and he wants one copy of Microsoft Office, he wants one pack of paper per hour, so that's 1/HR, and that'll do. Now he wants to stay in a hotel, so this is where I'm going to assign a hotel to him. So assign a hotel, and that's costing him 200 quid, like so. And I'll close this box, and there you go. So we've now got some costs. If I go back and look at the cost table, like so, so the hotel is attached to that task. Back to entry. So we've created a task list, we've linked it up, we've assigned resources. So that's just a very quick video to get you started with Microsoft Projects, and obviously there's a lot more you can do with that and a lot more stages. So hopefully that was of use to you. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.